Elon Musk gave a great interview on the All In podcast with venture capitalists, including highlights suggesting he was going to vote Republican for the first time.
Twitter at this point, has a very far left bias, and I would classify myself as a moderate, and neither Republican nor Democrat. And in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically, overwhelmingly. Like I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right.
Now this election, I will.
Saying whoever controls Biden's teleprompter controls Biden.
The real president is whoever controls the teleprompter. It's like.
And going in on Democrats in California. He also talks a lot about Twitter, how he thinks there's more bots than they're saying, and how that relates to their business. All fascinating stuff. Here's my top 5 moments from the podcast that I thought were interesting enough to share. Let's start with number 5, Elon Musk on California, complaining that Democrats completely control the state. It's a one-party state, and people ought to vote Republican, so Democrats actually feel like they have to start serving the interests of Californians. Take a look.
Population.
Well, I think ultimately with California, the people of California just have to get fed up and demand change. That's the thing that really has to happen. And there's got to be an above 0% chance of the Republicans winning in California. If it's just the Democrats every time, it's got to be. Yeah. And this is like occasionally. The thing is that right now. And plus the level of gerrymandering, which is basically just treating the people like sheep, and it's terrible. That's gone on in California is outrageous. So California, the Dems have a supermajority in the House and Senate in California, and the governor and everything. And so, how responsive is any political party going to be to the people if they are guaranteed to win? It's a one-party state. Yeah. And so I'm not saying that, go and sort of elect the Republicans every time, but if it's never, you're just making California a one-party state. They will no longer be responsive to the people, and will only be responsive to those that funded their political campaigns.
Clip Elon saying that 30 seconds on TV over and over. Go ahead, Sex.
Yeah. I completely agree with him there. Words of wisdom. He also tweeted something cryptic recently. He said, "The Golden State is cooking its golden geese. So tasty at first, but then no more golden eggs." I think that's referring to chasing people out of California and trying to gouge big corporations and rich people. It works for the short term, but it doesn't work for the long term. And it's not just billionaires and corporations that they're screwing over in California. It's of course everybody. Number 4 is Elon Musk even hints that he's voting Republican for the first time in his life. Take a listen. Now I want to play that entire clip. It's actually a multi-minute clip where he talks about algorithm transparency. So I'm going to play that full clip right now.
I guess stepping back for a second, people are curious why you want to buy Twitter. Why is this so important to you? And then I guess, what are the chances you think the deal gets done at this point? So a two-parter. Why is it so important to you?
Some of this I've articulated before, but I think there's a need for a public town square, digital town square that where people can debate issues of all kinds, including the most substantive issues. And in order for that to be the case, you have to have something that is as broadly inclusive as possible, that has as much of the people on the platform as possible, where it feels balanced from a political standpoint. It's not biased one way or the other, and where the system is transparent. This is why I think it's important to put the algorithm on GitHub and actually allow the public to see it and critique it and improve it. And if there are any manual changes, sort of shadow banning as it's called, or increasing or decreasing the prominence of a tweet, that's done manually, that should be noted, so you know what has happened. And it's not just, you're just where it is right now, where you don't know what the heck is going on. Why is one tweet doing well? Why is another tweet not? Is it the algorithm? Did someone manually intervene? Why are some accounts banned? With no recourse, apparently, the reality is that Twitter at this point, has a very far left bias, and I would classify myself as a moderate, and neither Republican nor Democrat, and in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically, overwhelmingly. Like I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right.
Now this election, I will.
Well, David, you okay?
Keep going. He's fine. We're going to resuscitate him.
We're going to resuscitate David Sachs. I mean, let me ask you a personal
The point I'm trying to make is that this is not some sort of attempt to, it's not some right-wing takeover, as say people on the left may fear, but rather a moderate-wing takeover, and an attempt to ensure that people of all political beliefs feel welcome on a digital town square, and they can express their beliefs without fear of being banned or shadow banned. And that we obviously need to get rid of the bots and scams and trolls and people that are operating huge bot armies in an attempt to unduly influence the public opinion. So this is what I think it's very important that we have that. Like some of the smartest people in history have thought about it and said, like, free speech is important for a healthy democracy. It is important, and free speech only matters. Like say, when does free speech matter most? It's when it's someone you don't like saying something you don't like. That's when it actually matters. Obviously, and it's pretty annoying when someone you don't like says something you don't like. That's bad, but it's actually a good sign of that you have free speech. I get trashed by the media all the time. It's fine. I don't care. Do it twice as much. I couldn't care less. But it's indicative of the fact that even though I have like a lot of resources, I do not actually have the ability to stop the media from trashing me. And that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
And this is really why big tech hates Elon Musk. It's not because he's far right wing. It's not because he's a Trump guy. They hate Elon Musk because he wants to be transparent with the algorithm, transparent with the shadow bans. So if you are being shadow banned, you know exactly how you're being shadow banned and why. Right now, they're hiding a lot of that stuff, lying about it, and nobody even knows not only the bias they have, but how some of their search engines and algorithms actually work. Elon wants to make all that transparent, and transparency scares the crap out of these people who are in the shadows manipulating your whole life. So they can paint and lie in mainstream media and act like they care so much about you, but really what Elon wants to do with Twitter is honorable transparency of algorithms, transparency of shadow bans, and what big tech wants to do is work in the shadows. And if you haven't seen the recent Project Veritas drop, workers there admit that. Without getting too wordy, it's just despicable that they've brainwashed so many people on the left and in general to think that Elon's this big bad guy because he's finally bringing transparency. Number 2 is him going in on Joe Biden saying whoever controls the teleprompter controls Joe, and also saying that Joe Biden doesn't seem to really be getting a lot done. Take a listen.
But it's not as if Biden has flipped the script and said, okay, we're going to go 180 degrees in the other direction. He's kind of kept it the same, which has been really surprising, actually.
Man, it's hard to tell what Biden's doing, to be totally frank. I feel like
it's weekend at Bernie's.
The real president is whoever controls the teleprompter. It's like the path to power is the path to the teleprompter. Because then he just reads the teleprompter. So, I do feel like if somebody would accidentally lean on the teleprompter, it's going to be like Anchorman. It's going to be like QQQ ASDF 123, type of thing.
I mean, in fairness to Biden, he hasn't been napping as much as he needs to, but
it's hard to say
hard job.
These sort of things that are getting done. This administration it doesn't seem to get a lot done. Whatever. The Trump administration, leaving Trump aside, there were a lot of people in the administration who were effective at getting things done. So, but this administration seems just to not have the drive to just get shit done. That's my impression.
It's got to be a huge blow for Democrats to lose Elon Musk, perhaps the coolest cultural liberal that they have left, who's now really turning into a moderate Republican, because if you are moderate and you are a normal liberal, there's no room for you on the left anymore. You might as well vote Republican and join the conservatives, because there is diversity of thought, differences of opinions. It's the sane place for any adult to be. And even Jeff Bezos, who, regardless of left-wingers saying, oh, he's such a Republican, he's so right-wing. No, he's not. Jeff Bezos is a Democrat. Jeff Bezos is a total left-wing party guy. And even he's starting to get annoyed with Joe Biden. So those are two massive blows to Biden's administration. They're set to lose the election in November badly, and I hope they do. But let's get back to number one. The last clip I want to share with you from that Elon Musk podcast is he's talking about Twitter, because he was paying a certain amount to Twitter, thinking that their SEC filings are honest and that it was worth that amount of money. Elon is questioning the amount of bots that they say there are. They're saying there's a very small percentage of bots on Twitter, but Elon doesn't think so. He thinks that number's way higher.
Essentially, the number of said another way, the number of real unique humans that you see making comments on a daily basis on Twitter is above 95%. That is what they're claiming. Does anyone have that experience? Exactly.
I mean,
really? Listen, there's a bridge I'd like to sell you. There you go. And also you can buy the Brooklyn Bridge.
What do you think it is?
What's the
If it's not 5%, what is it?
I think it's some number that is probably at least 4 or 5 times that number. I'd say if you did sort of the lowest estimate would be probably 20%. And this is a bunch of quite smart outside firms have done analysis of Twitter and looked at the sort of daily users, and their conclusion is also about 20%, but that's a lower bound. It's not an upper bound.
And he's really holding Twitter's feet to the fire, saying you can't just say, oh, we don't know how many bots there are, because if there's 2% bots on the website or 30% bots, it's not just an interesting thing to be like, oh, Lady Gaga and Joe Biden have bots following them. It's like a business proposal. If the website is filled with fluff and it's not real, that's billions of dollars of difference when it comes to value, advertisements, etc. And Elon seems to think that Twitter is lying about the amount of real people versus bots on their website. And although I don't know for sure, I tend to agree that they're undercutting that number like crazy, because the smaller you make that number, the more impressive and wealthy you can make your website look. Now, I know on the right wing or in the truther movement, a lot of people love Elon Musk and a lot of people don't trust him. They consider him controlled opposition. And I do think you should be skeptical of everything and question everything. But when it comes to interviews, it's going to be hard to find that level of authenticity that Elon Musk brings. You don't have to like him. You don't have to trust him. You don't have to believe everything he does. You don't even have to believe he's on your side, because he very well might not be forever, even if he seems like he is temporarily. But one thing is for sure, the man seems very genuine when he speaks about Twitter. He's very easy to follow, and I'm pretty good at reading people, at least I think I am. And when he talks about this stuff, he doesn't come off as a phony to me. He comes off as somebody who really understands technology. He really understands social media. He really understands the First Amendment and how democracy is supposed to work. Democracy means you have the freedom to vote for who you want and say what you feel. Democracy is not what we're protecting in Ukraine, where they banned 11 political parties, consolidated the media, and are allegedly seizing property from those political parties that they banned. That's not democracy. That's the democracy that the left wing wants you to think is democracy. That's authoritarianism. That's dictatorship. That's what they're trying to front and tell left wingers. Oh, authoritarianism is democracy and free speech is really a threat to democracy. What type of democracy do you think they're running on the left wing if they don't want the First Amendment? They want the type of fake democracy that's in Ukraine, which is a total dictatorship. That's what they want for America. So why are they so mad at Elon Musk? Transparency of algorithms, transparency of social media scares the living crap out of people who are manipulating your life in the shadows and don't want to be held accountable for it. And the fact that he can openly and honestly speak about the failures of the Biden administration, the failures of California, and the left wing's evolution from a liberal party to a straight psychotic, authoritarian, socially deranged party. Everybody sees it, and the only ones who don't want to admit it are the corporate media puppets who have helped perpetuate it and helped to ruin this country. So whether I fully trust Elon or not to the future, I do thank him for his service, and even this podcast alone and these gems that he's putting out to the world, it's so massive in my opinion. This isn't just a conservative or a Republican or Donald Trump saying this stuff to conservatives and Republicans. This is Elon Musk, a lifelong left-wing techie who has one of the biggest platforms in the world, and he crosses so many different paths: cryptocurrency, science, technology. I mean, this guy has a reach in both parties unlike anything I've seen. And he's out here just dropping truth bomb after truth bomb after truth bomb in a very authentic manner. That alone is service to humanity. So even if he ends up doing other stuff, I do thank him for this moment in time. And I think that culturally, his impact right now is in a positive direction. So that's what it is. That's my opinion. Appreciate you guys. If you want to support, godblesshats.com. We have pink hats, baby blue hats, white hats. I've never had more colored hats, cream colored hats. We have blue beanies, black beanies. So this is the time to get a God Bless hat if you want them, made in the USA, good quality. And also, if you'd like to support, I have Facebook supporters. If you're on Facebook, thank you for signing up to Facebook supporters. We do live streams every now and then with supporters only. And I also have patreon.com/raretalk. I work extremely hard, and for just $5 a month, you can get 2 secret podcasts, you can get some secret posts, and I do answer questions for Patreon only people. That's coming soon. So patreon.com/raretalk. Thank you to everybody who's supporting there. I appreciate it greatly. I will continue to stay independent, honest, and truthful. Thanks to your help, thanks to your shares, your watches, and especially your extra support. Have a beautiful day. I'll be back soon.